mean, I've travelled to Pakistan frequently. I've been there around 25 times. I've been banned of late because of the protesting against the treatment of minorities in Pakistan. What I can say is that, yes, every time I've been there, there's a feeling of oppression because you simply cannot speak about your faith in the streets. You can't share that with your Christian brothers or other minority people, or even other Muslims, for threat of an attack or a potential blasphemy allegation. And I can tell you, it's not something that can be described unless you are a minority, but you do feel this. You feel this and intimidation in speaking out about your faith or wearing some of the items that could actually reflect upon your inner beliefs. For instance, I would not wear a cross if I'm travelling through Pakistan, simply because I have a fear that something negative could happen to me, whether it be some physical violence or a comment that would then cause me to feel hurt. And again, with my children, I'm very protective, and they have to hide any physical items that could describe them as having a Christian faith.
Wilson, excuse my ignorance, but why do you return to Pakistan? You said you've over 25 times, when the country is so institutionally discriminating. It's quite open in society. What is that? Which, for a lot of minority groups, a lot of the time people are baffled as to why those minority groups still want to reside within Pakistan.
Well, for me, I still have relatives there. Not all relatives have been able to come across here to the UK. I think I'd be less likely to go if all my relatives were here in the UK. But even then, there is a passion that I have for those minorities still suffering in Pakistan. And Pakistan was the land of my forefathers. I have a historical origin from there. Every time I go there, I actually understand more about the culture that my parents had, about how they lived their lives. Why would I want to throw that away? I feel that the country itself, before it has become Islamicised, was a country that was freer. It was a country of good memories for my parents. In the 1980s, there was an enaction of an implementation of severe legislation that undermined the strong cohesion that was there amongst people of Pakistan. I feel that there was once a drive to have this more egalitarian state, but that has somehow along the line been lost in the aftermath of Zia's introductions of these laws.
And in your opinion, and you're very well versed in looking at how the implications of the blasphemy laws and also the Islamification of Pakistan took place way after Jinnah's the 1947 formation of the state of Pakistan. Has that actually played for the benefit of Muslims? And when speaking about Muslims, the minority Muslims as well, or do you think, in your personal opinion, this has brought regression to the state of Pakistan?
Well, without a doubt, these laws have actually brought about instability in Pakistan. Each political government is faced with the consequence of not being able to remove these laws. I believe the majority of elected governments have tried to change, even dictatorships. I know General Musharraf tried to remove the blasphemy laws until intense pressure was put onto him via extremists. And if you think about the number of blasphemy cases in Pakistan, 50%, close to 50%, are actually enacted out upon Muslims. However, the other 50% are enacted out on minorities, which is very disproportionate when you consider the demographics of Pakistan. What I should reflect on is there have been dictators that have tried to revert things and bring it back to the egalitarian state. And it does seem to me that sometimes it's the dictators that often have the best principles. For instance, Musharraf tried to remove the blasphemy law, but even before that, before Sikandar Mirza, after Sikandar Mirza introduced them, a dictator called Ayub Khan tried to remove the constitution that made second-class citizenship of minorities, but he also was going to rename the country the Dominion of Pakistan, which is the same concept as was undertaken by the British when they called the whole nation the Dominion of India. So it does seem to me as if there have been voices of reason in Pakistan and those that are looking to see a more egalitarian state, but they have always been hindered by a small minority, but a strong minority, an influential minority of extremists.
But where